place to run. We are being seen. And in the beginning, when the whole pandemic started, everybody was like, okay, I'll just, hang out at home, put my robe on. This is not going to last. And then it lasted. So what's happening is that now people who used to either meet in person or would chat on the phone are now finding themselves seeing each other from the waist up, basically in like a square box like this. And I want to encourage people to put the camera on, not now, but when they go to a meeting or they do a networking event, or we're going to be celebrating with our families through Zoom, you want to feel that you're not hiding. And I always say, like, when we go out to meet somebody or network or whatever, go to work, you never went anywhere with a paper bag on your head. It just would not be acceptable. And if we are too nervous to be seen on Zoom, it's kind of like we're wearing a paper bag on our head. So I don't want that to be something or a feeling that you have about yourself. So how can you get comfortable on Zoom? Well, there's a couple of really good tips that I'm going to help you with that. And it's going to go from not just what you wear, but also your lighting, your backgrounds, what you're doing while you're on Zoom. So the first thing I want to say in terms of what you wear, you want to stick to colors that really are very flattering on you, meaning colors that are going to make you look kind of healthy and have a clear complexion, not a sallow or a rosy complexion, that make your eyes pop out, the whites of your eyes appear whiter than yellow, or your teeth more white than yellow. And some colors will do the opposite of what you really want, which is some colors can make you look like you're not well. So play around with some of the things in your closet and wear the things that you get compliments on. Back in the olden days, try wearing those, because usually when you get a compliment, it means that it looks good on you. Unless, of course, you only wear black, and when you finally put a color on, people are so thankful they give you a compliment. But for the most part, you want to just, go in your closet and see what brightens your face up, and then put that on. And if you're going to do something like I'm just wearing a white shirt, but then I have my accessories, my necklaces that have some color, just to add a little interest so that you are not only perkier looking, but when your colors are right for you and you make an effort by maybe adding an accessory or two, you're going to make people feel a lot happier, more cheerful. And we need to do that for each other these days. We need to make ourselves and others feel happier and cheerful. So it's really a great idea to wear colors that are the most flattering for you. If you're lucky enough to have eyes that have any color in them at all, whether it's hazel, gold, green, blue, wear clothes that make that color pop, because the eyes are how we see people. So use that to your advantage, make it work. Try to avoid wearing the clothes that you wore to bed when you go on Zoom, because it's just not going to look like you made much of an effort. And when you don't look like you've made an effort, it's going to send the wrong message, certainly not a message you want. And also when you're on Zoom and let's say you're doing a meeting, like you're doing work, you want to avoid things that distract. So when it comes to your accessories, something that you really want to avoid are things that have a life of their own. Like I have these earrings here. I love these earrings. They're a lot of fun, but they have a life of their own. And so if you're talking and moving around and you're presenting, people are going to get very mesmerized by your earrings. They're not going to get mesmerized by what you have to say. And that would be the opposite of what you want. You want to be the person, the thing that people are paying attention to. So going now to a little bit about some Zoom do's and don'ts. Your background is really important. And if your background is going to distract people, no one's going to really hear what you're saying. So, one of my favorite stories a client told me was that when the pandemic started and the company had to meet on Zoom, the first meeting, which was being held by the female executive, very highly respected woman in the company. And everybody's there in their little squares, like now, you know, the Brady Bunch family thing. And everybody's waiting for her to start this meeting. And like, this is it. Our leader is going to tell us what to do. And she sits down and she closes the door behind her. And everybody goes, oh my God, because her underwear was hanging on the back of that door. So everybody went from thinking, oh my goodness, she's going to lead the way, to like, oh my God, her bra is behind her. I mean, how could she not know her bra is behind her? So I want people to be aware of what's behind them, around them, because you know, with the Zoom, everybody thinks that with the Zoom, I sound like an old woman. With Zoom, you see, you don't see just your face. You see everything around you. You can see my board. You can see the clothes in my office for my workshops. So you get a sense of everything. So you want to be careful what people are seeing. You don't want an unmade bed. Preferably, I prefer not a kitchen. But if that's the only place, then make sure there's no dirty dishes lying around. Shove them in the sink and put a dish towel on top, but don't let people see it. God forbid, don't let a bathroom be in the background. I've seen that too. It's not good. Be mindful of what you're doing. I mean, people have lost their jobs because they have not paying attention to what they're doing while they're on Zoom. Avoid eating if possible, because it can be very distracting when you're someplace in a meeting and you see somebody in that little strip above that you can see now, and you'll see somebody chewing or preparing food. It's very distracting. Try not to walk around with your device if possible with you when you have the camera on, because again, that's very distracting. It can make people get a little dizzy. And think about just having as clean of a space as possible behind you. If it's just a bookcase, which is always, you know, what you see all the time on the news, everybody has their bookcase, but be mindful, because I did see something where some, you know, talking head, some political advisor, I had read about this, was, you know, doing his whatever about the election with his bookcase behind him. And one of the books was a book on sexual positions behind him. So that caused a little bit of a furor, because you kind of forgot what he was talking about because people were noticing the book. So just be mindful. So a wall with art on it, or a wall with a couch on it, or an office is great, but just don't make it too personal if you're connecting for business reasons. Now, if you're connecting for holidays, which is coming up, and that's what we're going to be doing, then you don't have to worry as much. Of course, you want to be in the kitchen. You want everybody to be around you. It's totally different. But for the rest of the time, and for the rest of the year, and for the beginning of next year, you want it to be as clean and as less distracting as possible. So just be mindful of all that. If you have no choice but to have a bed behind you, then make sure the bed is made. But preferably, if you can move the camera just a little bit and get a wall, that'll be great. If you are in business and you are working, you know, with clients, or presenting, or, you know, meeting with somebody, or the client or a potential client, see if you can have some part of your background relate to what you're doing. So for me, I have my rack of clothes. Now, they really are here all the time in my office. But my friends tease me if we have a Zoom together, because they say, you're always marketing. I'm not marketing. That really is my office. It's part of my office. So see what you can pull in. So if you're an interior decorator, maybe have some storyboards behind you, or a Zoom background that is, you can choose, what could be a photograph of some of the rooms that you had done. Just see if you can tie it in. And I don't know how much you know about, you know, doing these backgrounds, but just in case you don't know, if you go to the video camera on the bottom, it says either stop or start video. And there's like a little, I think they call them carrots, little triangle like that. And when you click on it, you get to choose whether or not you want a virtual background, and what, you know, what your video filters are. But here's a really good tip. If you go to video settings, I'm doing it as I speak, but if you go to video settings, you have this option under my video called Touch Up My Appearance. Check it off. Because when you check it off, I don't understand how it works. I don't care, but it works. When you check off Touch Up My Appearance, it somehow makes our coloring look better. So it's really great. So if you're not gonna, you don't have to worry about makeup as much because Touch Up My Appearance is a wonderful sneaky option. And so then now, okay, so now you know what your background is. You want to keep it kind of simple, and now you want to be careful with your camera angles. And I see this still too many times. You want the camera to be at eye level or slightly above. You never want to have it down because you don't want to look up anybody's nose. You don't want to look up at anybody's chin. You kind of like the way you talk to somebody. Eye level, a little bit above, I guess helps with the chin area. But you don't want to be too close. About 3 feet is good, a little bit less. I'm around 2.5 feet maybe. And you don't want to be too far because then you're going to disappear. And then all anybody's going to see is everything around you. So just around here, like you're talking to somebody. Technically, you'd have to be 6 feet apart now if you're talking to somebody in person, but let's just pretend it's like the good old days. So now okay, so now you have your background, it's not distracting. And now you have your camera angle and you're looking at the camera like you're talking to a person. That's the best tip I can give you about where to put it. Never under you, never above. I've seen it all. Lighting. This is a huge hurdle or problem for some people. They don't realize that lighting makes a huge difference. Now, I am currently sitting in front of the window with the sun is setting, so it's kind of messing up my whole natural lighting thing, but I have what's called a ring light over here, and a ring light is a round light, and it's on a stand, and it gives me some light facing my face. You want to have the light on your face, never ever behind you, because when it's behind you, your face is going to look dark, and as I like to joke, it's going to make it look like you're in the witness protection program, and that's definitely not the look you want, unless of course you are in the witness protection program, and then you shouldn't be on a Zoom call anyway. So you want natural daylight is the best light you can possibly have. But as our days are getting shorter and shorter and we're running out of this light, ring light is really good. Or don't buy anything like that and just have like 2 table lamps, 1 on each side of the computer or iPad, whatever you're using, or just 1 behind it. But you want to have the light facing you. It's always the best thing. Like if I turn my ring light off now, you see, it's not bad to have some light in, but it's better with it on right now, especially as the light keeps changing dramatically, as I'm kind of sad. So now okay, you got a background that's not distracting. You have the camera like you're talking to a person, and you have the light coming towards you. It's always going to make you look better when you have the light coming towards you. Be careful not to have only light from one side. Like some people are sitting at their desk and there's a window on the side. And when you do that, half of you is being seen and the other half isn't. And that's a little strange and distracting also. So in the front is always your best friend. In terms of using the Zoom features, besides the beloved Touch Up My Appearance, the virtual backgrounds, depending on how tech savvy you are simply that you they have some settings in their virtual backgrounds already done, like a beach scene, or I think it's a Golden Gate Bridge. And those are all great and they're fun, and you can upload photos and have your own. But with a virtual background, you're always going to have a little bit of distraction, because when you move around, parts of you disappear in the virtual background and it gets a little weird. So I would only suggest using it if it's relevant to your business, or if it's such a god-awful mess behind you, you have no choice and you have to use it. Other than that, I would avoid it because it can get a little strange looking, a little funky looking. Okay, so some of the things about being on Zoom that is making people afraid is because one, nobody, that people are like, oh, I don't want to get my makeup on. I don't want to get dressed. I don't want to bother. And the problem is that, we are so not connected like we used to, that this is pretty much the only way we can connect now. So it's really important to try to do that, to connect, because you know, I mean, you know, yes, we kind of curled up into a ball for a while and maybe again recently too, but you want to connect with people because it's how we feel. It affects how we feel. And if we have a business, we really, really need to connect with people. We, you know, that's part of the job. And so the more comfortable you can get being on camera, the better off you are. So if you have the lighting on you, daylight or a lamp, you're already going to feel a lot better. You're going to look a lot better when you have the light in front of you instead of behind you, always. You also want to avoid ceiling lights that are in the frame of your picture. You can, you know, like I can show you my ceiling, which I, you know, which I wouldn't show you, but if I go just like that, you don't see my ceiling. That's better. That way you can just let the lights be on you, but you don't see the actual lights, which can be very bright for some people. So, all right, so now, um, some of the things that I've seen and stories that I've heard about Zoom can be very entertaining, but they're also like a little bit of a lesson for you. So there is the bra story, the underwear story. So that executive, I don't know how she's looked at now, but the employees really had a hard time getting the image out of their eyes of seeing her underwear on the door. That was just, you know, TMI. In the beginning of all these Zoom meetings, there were people who made the mistake of not realizing that, well, even now it's happening, making the mistake of not realizing that their camera is on. I strongly urge you, if you have the camera on and you have to leave the room, go to the bathroom, take a call, go to the bottom where it says stop video and just click on it. And that way you will not be seen. It is really, really important that you do that. People forget to do it all the time, and it can cause a lot of embarrassing moments. And you might know of some of them. One of them is hashtag poor Jennifer. And Jennifer was on her first business call with her company, and she decides to go to the bathroom on the call and didn't turn the camera off. And all the her coworkers were like going, oh my, they were like, they didn't know what to do, what to say, because she was literally going to the bathroom in front of them because she was clueless that she had the camera on. So I urge you to turn it off or close your laptop, just close everything, but just don't walk around and go and do something private when you're on a Zoom meeting call. When you have Zooms with your doctors or now soon with your family, you know, don't deprive people of seeing you because you don't want to be seen. The more comfortable you can get doing this, the better off you'll be. And that goes right back to what you're wearing again. You know, so one of the tricks that I tell people is, okay, you're at your desk or something pops up, unexpected Zoom. Somebody wants to talk to you all of a sudden and you panic. And so you leave the camera off and now you're just a voice talking in the computer. But you could take, let's say, some sort of like scarf that you have just so happens to be lying right by your desk, and you can just wrap this scarf around you 150 times or however you want to do it. And you just go like that, and now all of a sudden you just look so put together and so chic. And it could be over a t-shirt. Nobody would know that because of this. I highly suggest you have a few accessories lying around so that if you are caught off guard, you are ready, you're prepared. It's because I don't want people to disappear. I don't want women to disappear. And so just by feeling a little bit more comfortable in what you're wearing and in how the lighting is, you're going to be a lot more comfortable being on camera. I have to take the scarf off because it's 70 something degrees out there. So, and I had to close the window because of the leaf blowing, which by the way, I have to tell you this, if you are on a Zoom, you need to close your windows when people are blowing the leaves outside because it's really distracting, and the microphone on your device will pick that up and it messes everything up for everybody else. So it's you got to be aware of the noise that's going on around you. You might be used to it. Like you probably could hear my dog going back and forth to me, shaking his head with his collar noise, but it's distracting. So try to, you know, minimize as much distracting sounds and visuals as you possibly can. There was a story that there was a woman who has this huge business that was a convention once a year. And it was supposed to happen March, I think. So March is, of course, the month that wasn't going to happen. So she had to learn how to go virtual really fast. And she put this whole conference on virtual. But the people who were participating weren't used to that. So there was a few little hiccups here and there with how people were being seen. But one woman decided that this was going to be, she was going to survive this pandemic any way she could. And she had her desk camera right by the refrigerator. And so every time, almost every, on a regular basis is what I was told, she would open the fridge while she's sitting in this conference, take out the bottle of wine, pour herself another bottle, another glass, put it back in the fridge. Now there was like 100 people on this meeting. And so after a while, everybody starts going, oh, can I have a glass? Can I have a glass? And it ended up being very funny. But if it was a business conference, in other words, meaning, your boss was running this, or you were running it, it would not have been so appropriate. So it broke the ice for that group, but it wouldn't be okay if you're doing it for somebody that you're working for. So just be aware of that. I've heard stories that I guess a lot of these stories revolve around wine. One woman was on a meeting with her company. Again, this was early on, and it was, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon for the meeting. And everybody pops on and she's holding a glass of wine and everybody else is like dressed to work. And she realized very quickly that that was inappropriate and she put it away. But she will forever be known. I think they had a good sense of humor, but she will forever be known as the woman that was drinking on the job. So, there's a time and place for everything. So you got to be careful about that. All right, so let's see where I'm at here on you. The thing about what you wear when you're in a Zoom meeting, which by the way, works for when you are out too. I mean, any advice that I give you about what to wear now on Zoom would work beautifully for when you go out, whether it's to run an errand or to have dinner, because some people are doing that, or to meet somebody, or when this is over, to meet somebody and sit down and relax. The what you wear affects how you feel. And a lot of women have gained weight during this pandemic, maybe me too, because it's very easy to eat more now because it's comforting and it's there. So the thing is that when you've had some of a weight gain or you've just gotten really comfortable with being comfortable, you're losing this chance to make yourself feel better. So if you are kind of always in like loungewear, and I don't mean loungewear like Lucille Ball wore with the beautiful pajama set, or Joan Crawford or something like that. I mean loungewear like, leggings and a t-shirt that probably has a few too many tears in it, could use a good wash. That kind of loungewear. When you wear that, and I have that too, by the way, when you wear that too much, it's going to affect how you feel. It's going to bring your energy down. When I was, I do all my work is virtual now. 90% of it is virtual. And I've been doing virtual work for about 6 years. This is not new to me, but it's new for women and guys, but guys don't care, for women to be dressed really, really casually. And it's very comfortable and it's very easy to do. But I've noticed that the women who totally stopped putting on clothes like that had a zipper or a button or a collar, I noticed that their energy levels were like going down, 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 down. And so was their moods, how they felt about themselves. And a lot of women are now saying, I'm not going to bother because I have to lose weight. Well, you know how hard it is to lose weight? You know how hard it is to lose weight in a pandemic? It's hard. And so why would anybody not dress nicely now for themselves, let alone for business and for spouses and making impressions? Because if you do it for yourself, it'll totally transform how you feel about yourself. And when you feel better about yourself, it transforms how other people see you. So don't give up. And don't let people see that you gave up. because it's going to mess up your head, and it really does. What we wear changes things. So when I work with someone and she loves the outfit that she's wearing now, I swear to you that the woman stands taller, or at least looks taller. There is a certain pride all of a sudden. There's a certain way of holding yourself because you feel so much better about yourself. And so you shouldn't deny that to yourself. Even if nobody's going to see you for the day, nobody, you can, for yourself, make yourself feel better by putting something on that has a little bit of style to it. And I'm not talking about expensive stuff, and I'm not talking about as though you're going to go out, but just a little something. Maybe it could be a pair of jeans or leggings, but it's a nice top. It's a top that if you bumped into somebody on the street, you wouldn't be embarrassed to be seen in. You know, as I like to say now, that when you get dressed and you go out, if the mask that you're wearing is the most stylish part of your outfit, then there's a problem. And if you're wearing a mask and you hope that nobody recognizes you because you don't like what you're wearing, there is a problem. And you can treat yourself better than that. You can definitely wear clothes that'll make you feel better about yourself. And with that, it'll translate into your work too. And it'll translate into your relationships. So, okay, by the way, if anybody has questions, just let me know. And because I love questions. It's one of my favorite things. A lot of women, when it comes to the clothes that they own, this is helpful for Zoom or not Zoom, they tend to wear the same thing over and over again. So you could have lots and lots of clothes in your closet, but you end up always wearing the same things. Well, why do you have so many other clothes then? Is it because you can't fit into them? Is it because you bought them and you realized you made a mistake and didn't return them? Is it because they've been in the closet for such a long time that you have kind of forgotten about them? So one suggestion I have, and I do have a tip from my website that'll help you do this, but get out the clothes that you're not wearing anymore. Don't look at them. If you're not wearing them because they don't fit, or you're not wearing them because you never want to wear them again because you know that they don't look great on you, if you can just get them out of the closet so that when you do in the morning decide what to put on, you're only looking at the clothes that work for you now. And when you only look at the clothes that work for you now, you're not going to get so overwhelmed, and you'll be far more tempted and far more comfortable in putting something on that you haven't worn over and over again for the last 5 months. So you don't need to wear the same thing over and over and over and over again. There are other clothes in there, but you might not be able to see them because there's so many things in there that you really shouldn't wear anymore. So I'll put the link in. So it's called End Your Closet Shame, and that's, or Freestyling Tips, I see. And what that does is it'll help you get out the clothes that you shouldn't be wearing, because it's very hard to pick out an outfit when you can't find the things that fit you. And so I noticed that every time I work with a woman in person, she discovers things she totally forgot she had, or she discovers things that she bought again because she forgot that she had, or she discovers things and goes, I'll never wear that again. What am I thinking? So the less you have in your closet, the more outfits you can have, but you have to first get rid of the things that are not right for you. Now, the things that are not right for you and that are very comfortable and easy to put on, maybe you want to wear those just around the house, but you're not going to wear them going out, because that's not going to make you feel good. My dog is literally whining and scratching the door behind me. Timing. Geez. So you want to experiment a little bit. Go in your closet tomorrow and find a top that is a color, not black, okay? And let's say blue, because blue is a good universal color, navy, okay? So find the color in there and just put that on. You can put it on with your pajama bottoms if that's the way to get started, or put it on with your leggings, but just put on something that you haven't worn in a very long time. I'm not talking about a velvet dress, but just, it could be a button-down shirt, or it could be a long sleeve top, or anything that you haven't worn in a very long time. And put that on, and you'll be amazed at how much more, I don't know, how much better you'll feel, because you're making an effort. And that effort really, really pays off psychologically. It really, really does. So now you're going to put on something like that you haven't worn in a long time, and now go to your jewelry box or your scarf section and find something that works with that color. So for instance, you could have, let's say, I don't know, a turquoise top. You could wear a navy necklace or a navy scarf or a red one or coral, make some sort of different combination. It is going to pop on camera. It's going to help you stand out from the rest of the people if it's a business event or if you're doing dating, whatever. And it's going to totally change how you see yourself and how you carry yourself. It is amazing at the difference that makes. And a lot of us have been able to get our hair done. So let's say we can't get our hair done, or we're choosing not to get our hair done, and you just want to pull it back or something. But when you wear an outfit that makes you feel better, you're not going to really notice your hair anymore. You're not going to notice that there's some gray roots showing or that things are sticking out all over the place. It's okay. It's okay. So when it comes to, I'll just go into this a little bit here. When it comes to your clothes, I always say that feeling self-conscious or uncomfortable or insecure should not be acceptable. It's not acceptable to me, and it shouldn't be acceptable to you. If you don't feel right in the clothes that you own, it's not you. It's not because something is wrong with you. It's something is wrong with the clothes that you have. They're not the right clothes for you. It doesn't matter that you've gained 10 pounds. It doesn't matter that you're not the same, that you don't have the same body you once had. None of us have the same bodies we once had, and none of us are going to have the same bodies we once had, because it's just not how nature works. So you don't have to tell yourself the story that why bother because you've gained weight, or why bother because you have no place to go. You do have a place to go. You have your life to go to. And now you can be seen on Zoom. And it's funny, when I was doing virtual styling up until the pandemic, I would do everything on the phone. And then when I worked with a client, we would be at the computers in front of, her computer, my computer, we'd be on the phone talking about it. Now with the pandemic, everything is on Zoom. Like, nobody even questions anymore. This is, begrudgingly maybe, but this is the way to go. And now when I work with somebody, we're looking at each other and the photos on the computer that I'm showing. And you know what? It's a lot more fun, and it's a lot more connection. And it's the way of the present, and it's going to be the way of the future. This is how it's going to be. So the more comfortable you can get, the better off you are. And the best way to get comfortable is by what you're wearing, by the lighting, by having a non-distracting background, and please, please, please having the camera in front of you. Any questions? No. It's such a quiet little group. It's amazing. So let me see my little notes here to make sure I'm not missing something. Makeup. A lot of women are like, oh God, now what am I gonna do? Everybody's gonna see me. So a little tip is, you don't have to, put full on makeup if you're not that kind of person. It's not the time to start. But what you could do, if you just want to keep it really simple, just a little lip color and a little mascara if you wear mascara. And that's all you need, honestly. And of course, that touch up my appearance button, because it's the best. When you, it's better not to go too heavy with the makeup, because it's kind of close up, and it also, you are working from home or meeting from home, so you don't want to look too different than you usually look. So I would go easy on the makeup, but I definitely suggest a little lip color and a little mascara or a little eyebrow pencil. Actually, if you don't want to wear mascara, just lip color and eyebrow pencil is all you need to do, because the eyebrows and the lips are framing the face. So if you just color them in just a little bit, not Groucho Marx, just a little shading, and you can do that with a pencil, or you can do it with eyeshadow. That's one of my tricks. I used to be a makeup artist. So one of the things you can do is take a little eyeshadow, take the applicator brush, and just gently put it on your eyebrow. It looks very, very natural. And then you can take like a toothbrush, not the one that you brush your teeth with, and just brush up a little bit. It's a very natural look, and the lipstick, and you're done. I'm trying so hard not to sneeze. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So anyway, um, so so a little makeup will help you not only look good on Zoom, but feel better on Zoom. And then also, if you're wearing a mask, by the way, when you're out, the eyes are really important. Great time to get braces, by the way. Great time to save your money on lipstick, but it's now the eyes are important. So now you really want to fill in your eyebrows, which thins out as we get older, and maybe a little mascara, and you're done. It's fine. But for Zoom, it's really good to have a little something on because otherwise you can get a little washed out looking. And again, use that touch up my appearance button, and you kind of don't even need foundation. It's really an amazing invention that somebody pointed out to me, and I thought I heard the angels sing when I learned that little trick. Let's see. Just looking here. Bear with me. I'll give you a little shopping tip. When you are, one of the reasons why women have so many clothes in their closet and nothing to wear is because they keep buying the same thing over and over and over again. So it's not even a conscious decision. It's sort of like a habit. But when a woman goes shopping online or in person, she finds herself buying an awful lot of black. And the reason is because she's attracted to what she already has, and she thinks it's safe, it's comfortable. And really what it is just an excuse subconsciously to hide. Because if you're only going to wear black, you're going to disappear. And that might be what you want, but it's not really what you want, because when you disappear. And then you lose an opportunity to connect with people and to be seen. And that works for in-person or Zoom. You don't want to, look like you're in a state of mourning. So try to avoid black. So now when you're shopping, you tend to find something online or in person, and you're really attracted to it. And then you get it home and you realize that you're really attracted to it. And then you realize that you had something just like it. And that's because of that magnetic attraction of duplicating what you have. So I encourage you that when you shop from your own closet, as they say, shop online, go to a local store, that you just sort of gently pull your hand away from picking something that you already own, or it's incredibly similar to what you already own, because you're only going to have more and more of stuff and nothing to wear. And I really urge you not to buy multiples of something just because it fits. I cannot tell you how many times a woman will say, oh my God, thank God, I found a top that fits me. Thank God, this is great. Now I'm going to get it in the blue and the navy and the beige and the white and the check and the floral and the half shoulder and half neckline and this neckline. And now you have tons of the same thing. And then you might discover that it really isn't such a great top after all for you. And now you have like 20 of them. Same thing for pants. Women tend to find a pair of pants that fit, so thankful that they fit, and now they buy them in black and navy and tan and gray. And you know what? You didn't need all those colors. The black was fine. That was it. You were good. So you got to be careful not to keep buying something you have over and over and over again, because all it's going to do is waste your money, and it's just going to keep you from finding things to wear. There are some questions. Okay. So ask away.
Okay, hi. So someone asked to be unmuted, so I'm going to unmute her, and then I have a couple other questions from the chat that I can put into. But
Okay.
let me.
Thank you.
Ask first. Hold on one sec. Okay, I sent a request to unmute.
So it was I who asked to be unmuted because I wanted to say, Scarlett, this has been really helpful and entertaining as well. And also, I was thinking about poor Jennifer, who went to the bathroom while in a business meeting, which is just horrifying. Yeah. I was thinking, how could she possibly have made that mistake? And I think what could have happened is that when someone is sharing their screen, you only see on the screen the document. But but people can still see, people can still see you. Like if I'm sharing my screen and looking at a document and I'm the screen sharer, other people can still see me. And I didn't necessarily realize that at first. Like, I didn't go to the bathroom or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just something to be
Yeah.
aware of.
Yeah.
So we won't all be poor Jennifer.
Yeah, poor Jennifer. And I mean, you know, I don't want to get like, you know, Jeffrey Toobin just got into a lot of trouble. You know, this is not a stupid man. So
Anyway, that's what I want to tell that story, and also to thank you for really such a helpful presentation.
thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got to really be careful what we're doing. You know, I mean, I still am in a lot of meetings. I gave a Zoom presentation early on, along with another image consultant, and it was a presentation on giving tips on how, like this, but this was the presentation where people had paid money to be part of this organization, and so I was the speaker along with the other image consultant. And then I'm looking at the little squares before it was time for us to speak, and one of the women who paid to be in the group to hear the presentation was sitting in her bed eating a bag of potato chips, and it was like, she's attending this workshop to get tips on the do's and don'ts and how to look great on Zoom, but she's in her bed eating a bag of chips. It was very distracting for me. You know, you can't turn people off, so it's very distracting. So you got to be really careful. Really careful. Is there another question?
Yeah, there are a couple more. If I can, I'll go ahead and ask them now. One was any tips for men? They can't just throw on a scarf or accessories to look better. Anything that they can do?
Yeah. So same thing with the color. You know, look for a shirt that really, you know, brings out their eye color. So if they have a color, you know, colored eyes, maybe if it's a blue or a green, that'll make the blue-green hazel eyes really pop out. If you have, like, you know, dark brown eyes like myself, whatever, you can, black might work for you. It might, but I would say go for like navy instead, because it's a little bit less harsh. But, you know, TJ Maxx is a great source for really fun shirts for men, by the way, that are knockoffs of the expensive shirts that they sell in the department stores. And you want to get like a little pattern, maybe something interesting, but in a small print, nothing large. And that's all you need as a guy. I mean, it's really unfair. It's really unfair. You know?
Yes, it is very unfair. Okay, so is it ever okay to have the video off for work Zoom calls?
You'd have to have a really good reason. Like if you're sick, like, which is, I think I'm beginning to get B. If you're sick, if you have, you know, if you have a, you know, toddler you have to tend to, something like that. But for the most part, it's not. I mean, I have been to networking events through, you know, through Zoom where people kept their cameras off. Well, that's not networking, you know? So if you can avoid being off camera, I highly suggest not turning the camera off. But if you're really, you know, really having a rough day, or you're in your bed eating potato chips, then I would turn the camera off.
Okay, gotcha. And here's a good one. Any tips for looking thinner on video?
Oh yeah. So bear with me. I have my mannequin here, so see how much I can show you. Okay, so I can't make her shorter, so I'll just take this off. Okay, so one of the things to do with looking thinner, and there's tons of ways that I can make. I know how to cover up the body parts and the baker's dozen and all that, but I can give you some general tips now, and you have to leave me alone. Stop. Okay, so now one of the things was, you know, back to the scarf. Depending upon your height, you have to be careful about this, but you could wear a scarf and let it just hang down over here, and then that'll camouflage the stomach. You can also take what I call a topper. I do not know what the more generic name is, but I call them toppers. But it's just basically just something you put on over whatever you're wearing. Not a cardigan, because they only look good on mannequins, by the way. So you put on a topper like this, and now you've blocked out part of your body. Right away, you're gonna look thinner, immediately, okay? But I'm gonna give you my magnetic necklace. I'm really gonna give you an interesting little tip about looking thinner. When you put something on like this, it is really important that you don't find yourself constantly doing that. Because when you start always covering up like this or pulling behind you because you think something is too snug, or you're actually bringing attention to the very part of you that you don't want to bring attention to. So you want your clothes, if the clothes that you have now are too tight because there's been some weight gain, then you need to wear something that just skims the body, just sort of flows over the body. Anything that's tight is going to make us look bigger. So it's really, really, really important to just let it sort of flow down. So I have on like this white button down shirt, but it's like a tunic kind of a shirt. So there's nothing, no popping, whatever. So my husband said to me today, "Oh, you look like you've lost weight." I didn't lose any weight, but it was nice that he thought that though. So, you know, something that's just loose, nothing that holds you tight. A lot of women make the mistake of, I'm going to wear that, damn it, I don't care, I'm not going up a size. And the problem is, if you don't go up a size, you're going to make yourself look bigger than you are. So my big tip is to really let the clothes sort of skim you, and then you can play tricks with like accessories or the scarf or something like this. But as soon as you start doing this business and pulling and tugging, either it doesn't fit you or you're way too self-conscious, which means you need to get clothes that fit you in a different, more flattering way.
Okay, wonderful. How do I know what color looks best on me?
Okay, so when I work with somebody, I hold up a bunch of different colors next to her face or his face, and then I can determine which ones are best. He wants dinner. I'm so sorry. This is so bad. He's a puppy. Sorry. So what you can do to keep it simple, please stop, is to hold up, let's say, like beige and black next to your face, and see, or beige and white, let's do that one, beige and white, and see what happens to your skin tone and your eyes. So for some people, the white will be too strong and harsh for them. For some people, the beige is going to make them look sallow. It's going to make them look like they're not well. It can make everything on you look yellowish. So I can't wear beige. It's not a good color for me, or tan, but for some it works. So if you look in the mirror and hold something up or put it on, now that you're looking to see if the color is a good color for you or not, you'll be more aware of it. And when you're more aware of it, you're going to be able to make a decision better. So I have to say, there's a lot of women and men who have beautiful colored eyes and don't wear clothes in the colors of their eyes. So if you have colored eyes, wear that color. That's a good way to also know. I have very dark brown eyes, almost black. So that's why I can wear black and chocolate brown, like so dark that it's hard to know if it's brown or black. So if you can just sort of match your eyes, you're ahead of the game, if that helps a little bit. There's a lot more intricate, things about that, but if you pay attention to it, you're going to notice a lot more than you have before.
Okay, I have 2 comments that I want to relay. One was that someone said they love your dog. And then 2, someone pointed out that, when you're running a call, you can shut off other people's video. So sometimes if someone is being distracting, you can get rid of that too, if it's distracting to you. So another thought.
Yeah. And somebody here, actually it was Jennifer, taught me something which is really cool, that if you go, like when I do a workshop and I have 5 different women, let's say, in the workshop with me, and when somebody talks, the camera goes or makes a sound, or dog, whatever, the camera goes to them. But if you hover in the square of somebody and you see these 3 little dots and you click on these dots and you click pin, that keeps the camera on that person the whole time, and it won't get taken away if somebody else is. Jesus. And the camera won't go away. So it's a really good tip. I don't know if, but Jennifer told me that one. It was like, yay, because it's really helpful when you're with a few people and you don't want I mean, I've been on Zoom things where all of a sudden somebody is being seen because she's talking to her dog or putting her coffee cup down. So that pin feature, those 3 dots, is really helpful if you want to stay focused on one person.
Wonderful. So I think if anybody else has any questions, please put them in the chat and I'll be happy to relay them. You're welcome to ask them yourself too. As I've mentioned to a few people, we're just not having you on video because we're recording this. And so just for patron privacy, we don't want to put you on a recording without your permission first.
And I do want to invite, if you go to scarlettimage.com, I put the thing in there, freestyling tips, you will get, it's a video a day for 5 days where I share with you how to know which of your clothes should go, that you need to let go of. I call it end your closet shame because women tell me they're embarrassed for anybody to see their closets. So it's sometimes people just have things that they should no longer have and they don't know how to get rid of it or how to get it out. I give that direction. And I do, if I do have I have 5 spots for the month of November left where I do offer a free know what to wear call with me. And that's the chat with Scarlett. I invite you to take advantage of that because it's worth $100 and I am offering it to the people who are on this call now. And it's a great way to find out, let me help you find out why it is that you have so many clothes and nothing to wear. And I'll help you figure out what to do about it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Scarlett. This was so much fun. You're such a warm and fun speaker. And I hope everybody got some good tips for business and for pleasure calls. And they have
some wonderful familiar faces. It's really nice.
Okay, and as I mentioned, we did record this, so you're welcome to come back and watch again or forward it on to your friends. And it'll be on the Brookfield Library Facebook and YouTube pages. Okay, well, thank you so much, Scarlett. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Oh.